Man, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Man, I'm heartbroken right now. I can't. I know there's a whole lot of other people mad. I'm heartbroken. I I feel like, and maybe I shouldn't be, but man, I just feel like that tonight, um, tonight hit differently than most of these other losses in recent years. Most of these other losses in recent years, and you lose in this fashion, you can get mad over. You can scream over. Maybe throw a little something. Um, Pitt, and maybe I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning very mad because it goes without saying that the Falcons absolutely had at several points were in a very good spot in this game. But first and foremost, Michael Penix Jr. is this team's quarterback. Let's get that out of the way. I think the question was, how's he going to come out? How's he going to respond? He threw that interception early, and he responded amazing. And when this team about fucked it up at the end on 4th and goal, he found Kyle Pitts for a game-tying touchdown. That dude made the plays, man. He made the plays to win. I'm heartbroken, man. I am, because there's plenty of losses that have hurt differently throughout the years. Plenty of losses you can get mad over. Plenty of losses. This is probably, for me, the most. See, that season where we went out, that 2020 season, for instance, that was shit you get mad at and laugh over almost. The other games we've had where we throw an interception at the end, where we do this, we lose on some stupid shit, sure. You can get mad over that. Scream over that, raise your voice. I'm heartbroken, man. I am. This is probably, for the Falcons, I'm being real for me. I can't speak for anyone else. Everyone's going to have their different reactions to this. This is probably the most heartbroken loss I've seen from the Atlanta Falcons since that playoff game in Philadelphia in 2017. C-Dub, what's up, man? Hey, man. Talk to me.
Well, you know what? Look, this is what my problem is. Am I heard? Okay, I didn't see. All right.
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, cool. All right.
What's up, man? Talk to me.
Man, look, this fan base needs to quickly remember the offseason. Remember it's like this. You know when you watch the politicians talk?
Oh, sure.
And people always always they want to tell you what they're going to do and how they can fix this. But yet don't bring up last year because they weren't here last year. You know, we had a guy named Desmond Ritter.
You know what my nickname for
Oh yes, and it's very appropriate. Very appropriate. Yes, very Obama. Yes, he is definitely Barackin, as I like to say, because I actually gave you credit on my show. I actually said that when I heard you say that, I'm like, man, Raheem, man, he politics better than Barack, man. He needs to get a phone call.
Yeah, man.
Because I mean, Guy Smiley doesn't have nothing on him. You know,
Harmon.
I mean. Oh God, hold on. Hey guys. Hey. Man does the Christian pose every time. Hey, how you doing, D-Led? How you doing there, Tori McElhaney? Hey guys, how you doing? You know I love white women. What's up, everyone? You know, that's Raw. But here's the problem I have with Raw.
You know he loves him a snow bunny now.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. And look, I love chocolate. I love white. I love caramel.
Sure,
you know,
man.
I'm like, if I go to Baskin Robbins, I like them all. But here's what I want to say. This man comes out and keeps talking about an elite processor. Problem was, he got a 91 Mac system because that's the only thing we could afford. Or we were told it was one of the elite, but we ended up finding out it was actually someone just wiped the numbers out and found out it was 91 because Kirk Cousins couldn't cut it anymore. So you held out for Kurt for so long. Finally, you start Mike. Now, you've watched the games. I've watched games.
Sure.
When it comes to timeouts, if the quarterback's not calling it, it's the coach. The coach is running to the refs, calling timeout. I saw it last night. Cincinnati and Denver did it. You thought, Sean Payton, our most hated coach, that man was sprinting to call that timeout. Zach Taylor sprinting to call. Maybe dumb as a rock, but he knows how to call timeouts. What the hell was Rod doing? Was he playing tiddlywinks with Jimmy? Because you took, I want to say 4, but I think it's 5 timeouts. 3 in the first half, 2 in the second. And you settled for the field goal when if you would have did it better, you probably could have brought that closer and probably won the game. My problem I've had is with this team is you've relied on Raheem's politicking, doing his politic talk. I called out 92.9 the game just now on Twitter. If people follow me, you'll see it. Mike Conti didn't like my comment because he said I was putting words in his mouth. And I actually wrote back telling him, no, I want you to remember comments like we need an elite processor. And we only got 1 or 2 wins from this elite processor. How about, the old statement of, we're going to outrun the South. I'm looking at the South. Looks like Tampa's got it. And we beat them both years.
I want to ask you about 92.9 in a minute because I want someone to talk about that with and a lot of those guys over there. The first thing is, can you agree with me at least that Michael Penix, he's shown that he can be this team's franchise quarterback?
Yes. This kid has it. I mean, he spins the ball well. Look, I'm not going to, you finally got a chance to see him in the fourth quarter. Man, he was spinning that ball properly. Look, say what you want. He gave us a chance to win. That's what I'm looking at. You may not play super great. You may not be Jayden Daniels, but you know what? If he played all year, I think he would have been. But honestly, I think no matter what you look at this, you got to look at the quarterback. But to answer your question, it's quarterback. You got to Michael Penix. First of all, I said Bijan's going to make himself a star. No problem. Primetime game, he showed up.
He already is.
Yeah, every time he shows up, you could see it. And then Penix, man, that fourth quarter, everything going against you, and you bring the team up. That's what we need. I believe in him. But here's what I'm gonna kind of be a little controversial though. I think Penix needs to be the bad guy. I think Penix needs to go to Arthur Blank and look and go, because he said something in the press conference that I really listened to. Coach Raheem calls the timeouts. That's what he told me.
Oh, that's what Penix said?
Yeah, because someone asked about the timeouts. He says, nah, man, Raw's thing is he wants to be the one calling timeouts.
Oh, really?
And that's when he
answered at the top.
Yeah, and when he said that, And the guy was like, but, he says, yeah, I kept hollering him to, but, he's the coach. And I'm going, huh.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is, people go, oh, Arthur's too, sensitive. He's too loyal. True. But Arthur doesn't have much time on this earth. I mean, we just lost Jimmy Carter, who's 100.
Today.
Arthur Blank, and Arthur Blank ain't living to that. But if I'm Mr. Penix, I walk in and I go, look, man, you saw this game. I'm not trying to, usurp, but this leadership's got to go. I mean, you didn't get your own coach that you wanted or the GM and then walk out and let that fester. And I keep bringing that up too, because I'm sorry. Your coach walked off the field with literally 5 timeouts in his pocket, 4 to 5.
Oh yeah,
I get, and it's like, and then he was bragging, or he was just talking like they knew what they were doing. I'm like, this is why people don't like you, Raw, because you have a stick so far up your ass we can't find it.
Let me ask you a question. What did Raheem Morris, what he did tonight? And I wasn't, listen, I'm going to tell you what my plan was. I was planning on coming on here being really somber. I was, just honestly just going to come. I'm glad you're on here because I feel like now we can actually get somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you Raheem is going to politic himself into another year. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. I think everybody is feeling that way. But here's my thing. Okay. Let me go ahead and ask you a question because I have a kind of another way I'm looking at it too.
So I believe he's going to politic himself into another year because let me tell y'all how Arthur Blank is looking at this right now. At least I would assume. I believe now. Listen, yes, I think when you look at where it was because. I want to ask you a question in a second that I was getting ready to, but the number one thing is this is kind of, and I know I didn't really like this. This is kind of 2015 where we had this hot start. We come back down to earth. That is a fair comparison into just how the season went. And we finish around 500. Going into that 2016 offseason, we heard some rumblings that Arthur Blank really isn't feeling high on. Do you remember that? He's not really feeling high on Dan Quinn. And if Dan Quinn does not come out and, get this team to the playoffs, he could be gone. Now, we know what happened that following year when we got to Houston. Let's not talk about that.
Yep.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about, this subject. What did Raheem Morris do tonight? Or matter of fact, who did he embody tonight that he just so happens to have a significant relationship with and was also just so happened to be the other coach in this game? Who did he embody?
I mean, you look at it, he was Dan Quinn Jr. That's what I keep calling him.
You know why? Because this was Dan Quinn's top lieutenant when he was here.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I mean, or as I like to say, I said it when they did the introductions. I said, "Oh look, Dan Quinn. Oh look, Black Dan Quinn."
God damn.
I mean, that's what I said when I watched it. I mean, it's special. And then he talked, and then I'm going, can y'all please stop proving me right? I mean, I've been in this podcast business for a couple of years, and I still feel like I'm hitting home runs where everyone else wants to be nice to everybody. But yes, that is Dan Quinn. That is Dan Quinn Jr. Yes, his number one lieutenant. And man, here's my problem. Look, he wrote so many damn checks. And here's my thinking. Who's two things? Who's the guy that talked Arthur out of Bill Belichick the most? Was it Terry Fontenot or was it Rich McKay?
Well, here's the thing. Supposedly, Rich McKay isn't involved in football operations anymore.
No. I know that, but I'm talking about that time.
Now, that's supposedly.
Yeah. Well, look, the puppeteer is always around. But what I'm saying is this. So let's say it was Terry. Well, here's the thing there. Are you ready? Um, Terry's contract expires next week.
Oh, really?
There's no contract. Yeah, there's no contract extension.
I thought he got a 5-year deal.
No, I think he had a 4-year deal because we all were talking about it. Yeah, I believe he's under a 4-year deal because that was the same year that Arthur Smith had.
Look this up and verify.
Yeah, yeah, please do because we were all talking about it on our shows last week and a few weeks ago, and I always go, and not just that. Even if he has 1 year left, Arthur, how many times is Arthur's looking at this product and going, I could have had my coach, Bill Belichick, the man that has won championships. But we went with Barack. Not Brock Bowers, Barack. Because he wants to win the press conferences. He talks shit about Ritter, throwing that there. And how, if they had a better record, I wouldn't be here. Well, okay, you only had a better record by 1 win so far. Maybe 2. Are you really proud of that? You still do the same thing Falcon coaches do. You lose games you're not supposed to. You weren't supposed to lose to Seattle. You weren't supposed to lose to New Orleans. Hell, you weren't even supposed to lose to Los Angeles. By the way, 2 of those games were at home.
And you know what hurts losing at home.
Yeah, exactly. Because we would be in. We would have this thing clinched and be the 3 seed.
Do you go to any home games?
Nah, man. When I'm disabled and due to my back and my nerve pain, yeah, I really try not to go. If I watch the games, I listen, and I follow from there. But I mean, it's part of life. It's not like I'm upset or anything. It's just the way it is. But yeah, man, it's just when I'm listening to the games and I pay attention. But the thing is, I pay attention to what people say or the coaches say. And here's the thing. So Zach was all about Bijan.
In the first
and then yeah. And then people talked about how, he needs to be more on Kurt, needs to be more well then Kurt started struggling. And look, Kurt fell off a cliff. We'll call it what it is. All right. It's old, it's whatever. I hate hearing injury because why are you playing him? Stop with if he's not 100%, sit him down. You're not trying to baby somebody through a season. You got what's more important, getting in the playoffs like you told people.
I'm gonna let you cook. I'm trying to find out how long Terry fought. And listen, I've been a Terry guy. I'm gonna be real with you. I got you. I've been a Terry guy. I'm trying to find out how much longer his contract is. I can't just help but pull up this article from August 6, 2023. Falcons Terry Fontenot entering final season of 3-year plan. This is year 4 of a 3-year plan, man.
Yeah. I think he had an option year for this being the option year. But my thing is this. No one ever said he signed an extension or anything. So think about that. Arthur Smith or Arthur Blank, he loves announcing extensions. In Raheem Morris's press conference, never mentioned, yes, we've locked in Terry Fontenot for the next 4 years or 5 years. No mention. You know who got that kind of stuff? Dimitrov. Whether he deserved it or not. So my thing is this. Does Terry deserve to be fired? No, but my question is this. Was Terry the one that talked him out of Belichick to go for Ra? And if so, and then not just that, who's the one that talked Arthur Blank into getting Kirk Cousins?
I'm going to go ahead. I would not be shocked if that actually was Arthur Blank saying, you know what, go get me a quarterback. But listen, you could very well be right there. You could. Listen, I would love to be a fly. I'd love to be one, but I want to ask. I want to ask you a question. As I believe it's 5 years. I believe that's what I saw a few years ago. He has a 5-year deal. But I do want to find confirmation on that because you bring that up. It's an interesting point. Who really here, and I've had this conversation with some other people, and man, who really in the Atlanta media do you think is worthwhile? Like, let's take, for instance, because you were talking about 92.9 earlier, on 92.9.
All right. On 92.9, there were some guys that I loved hearing because they kept the team accountable, or they would always call the team up. And that would have been John Chuckery and Mark Zeno. Now, those guys aren't even on. Zeno still's cooking them. When he gets anywhere he gets on to talk about them, he lets them have it. And he gets on Raw all the time.
Yes.
He talks about Kirk Cousins and, him failing Kurt and failing the OC. Chuckery is one guy that I like. I used to listen to the morning, or I used to listen to 92.9 morning, midday, afternoon. I can't lie. I don't even like listening to them at all. I cannot stand Mike Bell and Carl Dukes. They like to.
Man, don't hate them.
Here's the problem with them. Right? They come off as everyday guys.
I know.
But when it comes to nut cutting time, where you have to call people out, they hide. No, not hide. They like to coddle. They like to kiss. They like to make you feel good about yourself.
I wouldn't say they hide completely. I feel like they do it. I don't think they do it as harsh because, I mean, Carl is from Texas. Mike Bell's from North Florida. So they don't have that New York. What do you think about Steak? That's the one guy I feel like is.
Steak he's an idiot. Let me put it this way. I have followed him from 790 to Zone. And when he wandered to 92.9, the first thing I thought was, great, watch. He's going to be a center of attention with one of our guys. And I wish I was wrong, but no, or I was wrong. It was two of our guys, one, Trey Young, and two, Stetson Bennett. And Trey now is balling, so now he has to like him now. Stetson Bennett, won back-to-back championships, but Steak didn't like the way he was manning his phone. Look, I DJ from my phone. I'll DJ from my computer. And if I'm hanging with my boys, I don't give a damn about a interview. I'm hanging with my guys. This is my last time. So I really couldn't stand Steak doing that. And basically he was making it about him more than anything else. My thing is this. Okay, go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, no, man. It's just, the morning show, Bo Morgan, he might as well say he's the defense attorney for the Atlanta Falcons.
Well,
because the moment someone says, the moment you even say anything, you can't say that. Oh, all you do is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, people podcast now because they don't want to hear you. Think of all the different podcasters out now. And we're all just working it where we do it different times of the day, where people hear us. And we're more informed than they are because they never want to tell nothing. They want to keep things secret. And I'm going to tell you, I feel like the radio station and the football team working together definitely sends. This Falcons team is not the team for up and up upfrontness. It's more espionage than it should be. Absolutely. You'll never know about an injury. You're never going to know if someone's really hurt. Look, we had Koo who missed like a bunch of field goals, and then all of a sudden people said, "Well, he's hurt." Well, in all the injury reports, he's never hurt. He's never shown he's hurt. Oh, but he's hurt. So if he's hurt, why are you playing him? You have a guy.
I do want to interrupt you because I finally
got an answer. All right, cool.
Thank God for ChatGPT. I asked how long is Terry Fontenot under contract with the Atlanta Falcons. Said Terry Fontenot, the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, signed a 6-year contract when he was hired in January 2021. This means his current contract is set to run through the 2026 NFL season. So, according to this, he's got 2 years left on his deal, which does sound more about right. But
yeah,
I'm going to say this. I feel like we're going to see, and I, there's a lot of things, we can talk about with this game, but as I said, I was planning on coming on here tonight, really probably just talking, just heartbroken. And I'll be maybe getting into, what week 18. But at this point, no, this is a conversation that is worthwhile. It needs to be had. Do I believe that? I think, yes, we're going to see the same regime back next year. But it's something worthwhile to be had. I want to ask you this question. Do you know that Arthur Blank's son have you seen him more recently, right? You saw him
yes. Yes, I have. I've been keeping a close eye on that. Everywhere Arthur is, you see him. It's not even accidental anymore. You're seeing him right there. Yeah, I agree. I've noticed that too.
And he just went to this NFL owners camp where you learn to be an owner. And it was almost like the same thing that I think Mark Davis went to, which Mark Davis, with the owner of the Raiders, went to, which that really ain't saying anything. Considering
but you understand why they would do that. I mean, it's like you look at it, you can't be totally hating on that, because that's, at least they're trying to make it where, hey, look, you're about to step into something totally foreign. You want to make sure you get through. But I do respect what you're saying, because I'm thinking the same thing. And like I said, I've noticed him a lot. And it's like it was actually, what was it? The Raiders game actually is when or it was before then, I saw him. I was like, okay. And then I saw him again. And then the Raiders game, I'm going, him and Mark Davis was talking to him, and then he was talking to the son. And I'm going, this is very interesting. I'm very intrigued by this.
Because Arthur Blank, I believe, is now 82, I want to say.
Yep, he is.
82 years old. And he's not, listen, I mean, we've heard all about Arthur Blank is sharp, this. Listen, we don't know how much longer he has on this earth, but we know it's getting to the point where, at this point, it could be any given time, have one, bad downfall or something on him. It could be the end of, his health. So the reality is the Joshua Blank, that's his son's name, Josh. Him getting involved is, I think, we need to keep an eye on it in terms of how he is going to manage things for the organization. Now, here's one thing that I'm going to tell you. His sons were very instrumental in bringing Atlanta United and him bringing So the vibe I've gotten in recent years, Arthur Blank is caring less and less about the Atlanta Falcons and is caring more about the Atlanta United. When Arthur Blank is going and his sons take over, is that only going to expedite?
I think it's more like this. United, there was because here's the deal. Atlanta United is such a unique thing because it's pure Atlanta and everyone could be a part of that, where football teams are diverse in Atlanta. You got people that love the Lions. You got people that love the Vikings. You got people that love the Packers. You got people that love the 49ers, but they all live in Georgia. But the thing is, I think with that, what we have to remember is this. I think it's also remember how Arthur has treated the Atlanta Falcons and treated the teams, treated the players. He has been A plus.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like this. This is kind of why I feel the way I feel. I feel Arthur Blanks deserves a winner. And I feel like all these regimes in the past and even now have always dicked around it. And it's like, for Raheem, I truly would have liked Grable. If instead of getting Belichick, you get Grable. Get a guy that's rough around the edges but is tough.
Let me tell you why they didn't bring Vrabel, because Vrabel was going to show significant interest in Arthur Smith being his offensive coordinator.
Well, and you know what? Sometimes it's like this. Look at Pittsburgh. Now, even though they're struggling now, I mean, as long as Grable was, or he gets a guy
that's a culture issue for them, struggling late in the year.
But this is another year they're doing this again. But yeah, I mean, I just look at what he's done, though. He's not done badly. I mean, look.
Oh,
if anyone, let's remove Christmas Eve. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I wouldn't mind Grable. I wouldn't have mind. I wanted a guy with experience. I wanted Steve Wilkes. I liked Steve Wilkes or what's called John Harbaugh. I wanted a guy.
I wanted Harbaugh. That's my.
Oh,
guy.
Yeah.
Look, I was big on Belichick. I was.
Yeah, me too. Well, it's funny when you think about Belichick. Everyone's it's like, oh, we don't want him. We don't want him. I'm going. This man's got 30, or this man's got 6 Super Bowl rings. Not to count the other 2 he won as an assistant coach.
The greatest football coach ever.
Yeah, and you're telling me you don't want him because he might not fit the culture. What culture?
And you don't want him in your organization.
Well, my thing is, he might change it. You've seen our culture, right? You've seen our team. Yeah. You've seen our drafting, right? You've seen how.
What do the Atlanta Falcons? What do they need? What do the Atlanta Falcons need?
I mean, shoot. Right now, they need defense. I mean, it's like this.
You were just talking about culture. What do they need with culture?
They need a winner. They need a guy that can look at this team and go, "You're doing it wrong, and we need to fix it." We need a guy that actually addresses problems and not make people feel good in the press conference. I mean, think about it. You got Politic Ra wanting to try to smooth over the fact that he had 5 timeouts but didn't want to use them because apparently he was Lord of the Rings because they were his precious, which is ridiculous. My thing, I always tell people, if it's like this, when you do what the Bears do, you should be fired.
There's a lot of comparisons right now, I think, between Terry Fontenot and Ryan Poles.
Well, and now Raheem and Matt Eberflus and Thomas Brown, because those 2-minute drives, and you have a quarterback saying, I was waiting for Raheem to call the timeout. He told me he was going to call him. But I guess he was too busy picking his nose. I don't know. I mean, it could have been anything with Ra. He probably saw a snow bunny, and, he just got distracted. It's a big stadium. Or he was just glazing, or he was just fawning over Dan Quinn, as he's doing his steering wheel thing, which I'm still trying to figure that out. But that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, against all odds, Michael Penix was able to drive the team, get him to score the touchdown, and was still able to get a chance to kick a field goal without his coach helping him. Imagine if he had a coach like freaking Peyton. Imagine if he had a coach like, Zach Taylor, who's running up and getting those timeouts called. LaFleur.
You're seeing what Bo Nix is doing with Sean Payton in Denver, right?
Yeah.
And who the fuck do they have other than Cortland Sutton as a weapon?
I mean, they got this kid named Mims, but I mean, you look at that team. I could say we have better weapons than they do, but look at the result. Look at the coaching. It always comes back to coaching. Yes. You got guys that know how to get guys' full attention. Oh, well, that doesn't work. Go to the Broncos and ask them how hard Coach Payton coaches them. They say it. They're like, man, he coaches hard, but, we love it.
Oh, yeah, no.
If you're winning, they're going to love it.
You hear it. You hear him like he literally he lays down the law. I don't see him doing it.
Because, no.
And I want to go back to the chorus. They went the safe hire. That's what they did. They didn't want to get uncomfortable. Because let me tell you what the Atlanta Falcons did nearly 4 years ago. They tried to change the culture when they brought in a guy who was apparently an offensive guru, running the football, nasty, and okay, he'd bring in we're going to trust him to bring in a defensive coordinator, fix this defense up, and we know it's not going to be right now, but eventually we should be all right in the long run. We should be contending. In the first 2 years, it was up and down, but okay, let's see how year 3 goes. Year 3 comes around, and the end of it was just as awful as it could come for Arthur Smith. We fired him. And in that process, Arthur Blank decided, I should have never changed the culture we had.
Here's a problem with that.
Let's just do
go to Raw. Yeah. Well, here's my question here.
Control Z.
Yeah. This is, again, I go back to this. 2021, that fabled draft. You get Mike, I keep saying the pick for the Falcons. I know people love Jamar Chase, and it's easy to say that. Man, oh man, could you imagine if we got Penei Sewell?
Yeah, absolutely.
You put him there at right tackle.
Even though McGarry has improved, can you imagine Penei Sewell right now?
Yeah, put Penei Sewell, you would have Lindstrom, then you have McGarity, you would have, Jake Matthews, whoever. You could get Drew Dalman. But what I'm saying is you could have locked that down. That line would have been solid. All right? Yeah, you know what? I'm not mad about Drake London. I used to be mad at all the draft picks, but Drake London to me, yeah, Drake is a dog. You can't, yeah. Drake and Bijan, those are your 2 cornerstones. Gotcha. And you know what? Even though I wasn't happy about Michael Penix, we would have been up quick. Yeah, so was I.
Quarterback, you got his weapons. But the thing about that, man, I want to get back to something I was going to say when you were talking about Penei Sewell. The thing about that, man, is this is supposed to be the time you're winning with him because Drake is in year 3 now. Eventually, next year, you're going to have to talk about paying him. The year after that, you're going to have to talk about paying Bijan.
And then you got to pay Bates because I think his contract's coming up too. That's going to
be the big one. So you could say, oh, well, Penix is a rookie, man. You could say, oh, they're still young. We should have been winning right now. This was the year that you were supposed to go out and win. This year, these windows in the NFL, man, they're shorter than you think.
When they did this, this is why and I will tell people tomorrow morning at 10 in the morning when I do the show with my guys, but where we do a morning crew show. But I'm going to bring this up because I'm going to say this again. If Ra would have just not gone after Kurt and just went with Penix, he would have a longer leash. Fans would actually be fighting for Raheem and this team, this coaching staff. As crazy as that sounds, because at least you see the glimpses, you see the hope, you see what is going on. And something that Also in the Penix thing, what he said, he was apologizing about the ball dropping and the mistakes he made. And Drake said, "We've only played 6 real quarters together." And that hit me, and I went, and this is why I was so furious about Rob being the coach or not playing nobody during preseason. And not just that. Here's another question. So, Rob, you going to let the guys play preseason?
Oh, he said as long as he's head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, that's how we're doing preseason.
Yeah, exactly. So guess what that means? You're not going to get that. So my question again, this is why everything Raw has done, I actually think he's gotten himself closer to the exit door, and he didn't know it. Because basically he's saying, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing," and you're setting the kitchen on fire. And you realize the house is on fire.
And I'm going to be completely real with you. If we would and it's the exact same result. Okay, I can probably honestly say that you may have a point. Blank. I think out of every single coach that he interviewed, he had not built more of a personal relationship with any of those coaches than Raheem. Is it a coincidence why we got him? Okay, because he was here before, and we know, he respects Raheem so much. If anybody, even in Arthur Blank's old age, where maybe he has taken a more stern approach, if anybody can politic their way into another year, and I guarantee you it's going to be Terry and Raheem together, because they both are at this point, they're both tied to the hip, and I think get rid of Terry, you got to get rid of Raheem too. So what you're going to end up seeing is they're probably going to both go to him, politic their way into one more year, and whatever absurd promises they make, I don't know, but that's what they're going to do. But man, listen, this shit obviously really stings, because once again, I want to ask you a question. What quarterback? Okay, let's take what happened in Philadelphia out. And in the Tampa games too. What quarterback have you seen since do what Michael Penix did tonight at the end of that game since Matt Ryan left? Which quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons
real quick, I'm actually going to keep what Kirk Cousins.
Hold on. After this.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say I'm going to keep what Kirk did in Philadelphia, but I'm going to remind people the only reason that happened was because Saquon dropped the ball. The guy that's about to break Eric Dickerson's record. So think about how crazy that was for that to happen. But yeah, so, and, I still blame the coach. You don't go for it then. You kick the field goal, take points. But, these coaches know everything. But yeah, look, Penix didn't blink. The one thing I always say about Kirk Cousins, him and Matt suffer from TBS, tight booty syndrome. All right. Matt Ryan, there were times, he had that deer in headlight look, and you could tell he's got some tight booty going on. Well, Kirk's the king of it. I thought Matt was, but no, Kirk's got that beat. He's like, what, hold my beer. But Michael, no. I saw a guy that didn't blink. He was making play. His head, he was down about, the interception, but he got back out and he played. And I just, what I like? So he's not a runner, but he's trying to make plays. And I'm not mad that he didn't rip off a lot of runs like Jayden Daniels. I actually think it's there. We're just going to have to wait and see how it develops. But
so you think he can be a runner?
I think he can. I'm not saying he's going to live and die by it. But
no, he can't, because
yeah. But think of him more like Warren Moon. I think that is who he reminds me of. And I actually saw Warren Moon, but with the ability to not blink. And I that's the only way I can describe it. The man was not fazed by the pressure that he was receiving. And he was getting some pressure. So I it was crazy. I'm watching this game and I said this. Win or lose, I guarantee you're going to see the best effort the Falcons ever played. And I'm telling you right now, Michael Penix is going to make some plays. That's what I said. I told a couple of people that I messaged with, and Lord and behold, this is what we saw. And they always knew my caveat was, will Raheem get in the way, or will he be a coach? And again, I'm proving that Raheem has no head coaching ability because he's a loser. And if I am Michael Penix, I take my career in my hands, and I'm looking at Mr. Blank and I'm going, sir, you know this don't work. And some people might think that's shady. Some people might think it's wrong. I'm the belief of I'm a king of the jungle. I want to live.
Well, I want to, because I'm looking at this right now. The Falcons spent $180 million in a top 10 pick on 2 new quarterbacks, traded a third.
Yeah.
Judon. I mean, I know Judon missed one of them tonight. Yeah, he got one, but he missed another one. See, that's the thing. We had him off the field again at the beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah,
and honestly, if it wasn't, who knows how that game. Now they still could have abandoned the.
You also got to look at the
or it's not committed.
Yeah, and you got to look at Jayden Daniels. This guy is special. He's slick. That's where Penix doesn't blink. Well, Jalen's slick. He just glides everywhere. And just watching him this year is amazing. He's taken this team. He is the offense. At least Penix can give it to Bijan. He could give it to Algier. At one point, it was just, hey, I got to do it on my own. I ain't got nothing. So you got to give some credit to that quarterback, man. And Lord, Judon, look, that defense got tired out in that third quarter.
Oh, yes.
But we still, again, I keep bringing this back. We still had enough plays that we could have finished that drill. We could have won that game, but our coach did not help. And and here's the thing. I get what you're saying about being sad. I wasn't sad. I'm watching this and I'm going, Raheem just exposed himself on national TV. Everybody's asking why you didn't call timeouts. And his excuse is ridiculous. I didn't even get to hear the full excuse. But here's what I'm going to say. That just shows you the difference between a defensive coach and an offensive coach.
Yeah.
Because not even that, a coach that's engaged with his team, that knows his heartbeat. Dan Campbell is on it. All these guys, they don't just let these things slip away. I just keep going back to that. The way they just let things slip away, it's just maddening.
Yeah, no, but
and you're right. Raw can politic his way. Hell, he could probably sacrifice the coordinators. Or, this is a big question: will Raheem sacrifice the coordinators?
You know what? Actually, I'm going to take a very controversial stance on this, my own. As much as I think we can question Zach Robinson, and I feel like, yes, he deserves a lot of blame, the reality is this, too. This is really only game 2 of him getting ready.
Yeah.
The way I see it is, you want to talk about sacrificing the coordinators. Going in the Wildcat, and on first and goal at the 5 was absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
But outside of
and you know what? Your quarterback saved you. That's the most impressive thing there. You were able to get back in there and score that tying touchdown. So, I get you about Zach Robinson, but my thing is this. It's about how you have to save your job. And if he has to save his job by sacrificing those guys.
Oh, he will.
He will. I mean, he's learned from Dan Quinn. That's what you have to do.
Even if it messes Penix up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking now. I'll say this: I look at Penix not like how I look at many rookies, and I feel like regardless for any quarterback, we saw this with Matt Ryan. The best thing you can have is stability.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. With Penix, this guy, we saw it. Everything we heard, man, who he was at, we saw it tonight on that drive, man. He's got it. He's got it.
Here's the beautiful thing about it. He's played just 3 games. So he's played under a system, but here's the thing. You go get an offensive coordinator that knows how to call offenses, that can put him in the best places so everyone's maximized.
League MVP. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, I'm telling you. I agree. You will see he will be the most improved player. And win the MVP, because here's the thing. Now he could digest, and now he knows the playbook even more. And I'm tired of talking about Kyle Pitts' potential. I mean, I know Chris Collinsworth wanted to talk about it.
I know he scored that touchdown tonight, and he made a few nice catches. He's still at that 3rd and long that he didn't make the effort on. And if you were really the number 4 pick, you make the effort on it and you catch that. So
exactly.
Tonight, I can't hate on Kyle Pitts too much because he did catch that touchdown. But I also got to give Penix a lot of credit about that. I heard a report that Kyle Pitts could be gone this offseason. I think you got to give credit.
I'm with you. I not only that, you got to look at this team and you got to make some tough decisions. Here's what I'm going to say. This team can be something, but you really got to look at this coaching staff. And not just that, you got to find the guys that have the heart.
Yes.
I think we have talent. I think we have, at first I didn't think our guys on I thought our guys on defense were in the wrong system. And it's funny. Raw kept saying he wasn't going to meddle into defense. But yet a report came out today about how he's been
he's the one who's behind this defensive turnaround.
No crap. I mean, come on. You have to do something because your defense was horrible.
Is that going to be one of his saving graces?
I mean, at that point, if I'm him, I'm looking at it. It's like this. You better have a plan. If I'm Arthur Blanks, I'm looking at him going, what's your plan?
Is that one of his saving graces?
Mm-hmm.
Because, look, I think I'll already break it down. If you do stay, I think Zach has to stay another year. I just do. I feel like even though you can say everything you want, I think if you give Zach Robinson a full offseason with Michael Penix to work on things, considering that McVay system, you could really actually get something going there. As far as the defense goes, who's to say Raheem doesn't this offseason take the Dan Quinn 2019 route, get Jimmy Lake out of here and become the defensive coordinator himself?
No, I actually would do one better. You just talk to Jerry Gray, and you say, Jerry, I need you to be the defense coordinator. I need you, man. And you let Jerry, or Raheem needs to humble up and go make a phone call to the Baltimore Ravens. There's a certain D-line head coach or a D-line assistant coach that used to play for the Atlanta Falcons. And I would make a call to him, and I would be like, Chuck Smith, I heard you're the pass rush guru. would you please come to my defense and please light these guys up? I will give you whatever you want. I will what we'll make the draft picks, whatever we got to do. I would make that call because that's the guy I want. And and here's the thing, Chuck, this is your defense. I'm letting you run it. And look, Chuck Smith knows defense. He can work with Jerry Gray. I can see it now. But then I would actually, for Zach, I would actually tell Arthur, I'm going to get an offensive consultant. So we have somebody that can actually help Zach game plan the game.
Okay.
Got to get a guy with experience. I call Mr. Cardwell, James Cardwell, or Byron Leftwich. I'm just trying to find guys that I could get a hold of and see what we could do to make this team better.
Okay.
But that's if I'm Raheem. Now, if I'm on my own and I say, I'm going to look at Arthur and go, burn this motherfucker down. And here's why. Your GM can't draft. Your head coach can't coach.
I love the idea. Been one of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
This dude don't know what he's talking about. So I was kind of thinking maybe this is Jimmy Lake. No, it's the exact. I was thinking maybe Raheem was meddling. This is Jimmy Lake. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can agree that, Raheem's probably been heavily involved in us getting more sacks and this, that, and the other. But so, no, I would make Jerry Gray the defensive coordinator. I was calling for this at the bye week. Make him the defensive coordinator. Bring Chuck Smith in. Yeah, I can rock with that all day. And as far as that goes, I'd keep him. And, but I don't think it would hurt to at least bring some, if nothing else, just, for him to, not even him necessarily feel like this is a guy watching over me, but just a guy like, hey, you're here, I'm here if you need anything, but really kind of work with him over the off season.
Yeah. I mean, look over what, I mean, I bring this up. The Raiders are doing this. They had Norv Turner and Scott Turner working together. Scott's the son, and he's the OC, but Norv is working with him, just guiding him in the ways of, planning and everything. Now, look, the Raiders have a suck-ass quarterback, so we're not going to grade on that. I'm just saying I like that structure. And I'm just saying, if you're going to get a guy who's never been the OC, give him somebody to bounce ideas off. There shouldn't be a problem with that, or like a guy that could just say, hey, man, I don't know. I see what you're trying to do here, but maybe we could, you need to look at it this way. That's all you're trying to do. And not just that, but also, I'm going to go here. How much of an impact does TJ Yates make on the quarterback? Because my question is, because if it's me, I'd actually upgrade my quarterback coach. That's where I'm saying you got to look at stuff like that. Maybe instead of TJ Yates, maybe go get a guy like Byron Leftwich, who's played the position, or go get you a guy like, James Cardwell, who's coached Matthew Stafford, that's coached Peyton Manning. Guys that can, just work with a talent like this guy. There is some pieces out there that you can help elevate the team. But like I said, when you have a coach that doesn't use the timeout, that's like a fire. Did this man just say in hindsight?
What I'm watching is Raheem, and you said you watched the press conference. So
yeah, I got to watch a little bit of it.
I could have taken the time out. It could have been, you didn't look at what that is a fireable offense. So this is going to come in to Arthur Blank. He's going to be called into the office with Terry Fontenot, and they're gonna politic something like you have not seen before, and they're going to sell it to Arthur Blank. And you know what Arthur Blank's going to say at the end of it? Okay, get to work. Telling you.
No. I'm with you, but here's what I'm going to say. I am just hoping against hope then that Arthur Blanks looks at him and goes, interesting. I'll think about it. Not, yeah, of course you're going to coach next year. No, I'm going to think about it. Let's see how you play against Carolina. I want to see some pressure. I would like for our franchise to actually look at our team and go, no, we're not giving you benefit of the doubt. You show up. You played well, but your coach screwed you over. What are you going to do, coach? How are you going to win this game? That's Carolina. Okay, have you not seen what Carolina's done? Take away what they didn't do tonight. You don't think little Bryce could come in here and do what he did against us last year? Or is this another,
here's the thing with Carolina.
Yeah.
I think this Tampa team and I don't know how we Tampa team is they play with fire and they play with
yes.
And they did what they were supposed to do today. They beat the fuck out of a very bad Carolina team. I think we're going to win versus Carolina next week. I think what the big thing ultimately is going to be is obviously we got to do the unthinkable next week. Talking about and diving into more of this tomorrow, but we'll talk about it, run down the scenarios. Because this was supposed to just be more of a coping mechanism for me. I typically play until the day after, but this was no, it's good, man. No, listen, I'm glad you came on. I'm glad we could talk this through, get our frustration out. But the thing with it, we have to do the unthinkable, and we have to have the Saints win next week.
Yeah. And look,
to get
can it happen?
Clear. I know there's people saying at this point, but look at everything that we put into this team before the season. Look at everything, but
I know
the bottom line is the game. The man probably one of the worst things you could possibly see and should be a fireable offense. Oh, hold your horse. Now, if it is, then and I don't really even think that thought is going through Arthur Blank's head at this point.
I don't know. This is where we all want to be that fly now, but all I'm saying is how I felt is I saw this and all I could think was we could have won. And let's be honest, basically been in the driver's seat of clinching this division. But you didn't want to use timeouts. That could have helped aid the team to stop the clock and move the ball forward. But yet you use those same timeouts for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, next.
Beautifully. And that's where I'm just it. And in my mind, I'm doing the following statement. Michael Penix is our future. He's our right now. If you're not helping him, you're not helping me. And that's where I keep coming back to. Raheem Morris does not deserve another year. And I get the politicking, but that's where I look and go, bro, you weren't even my first choice. And that's the hard truth that needs to be said.
Who do we think Arthur Blank's first choice was?
Oh, I think it was Bill Belichick.
I do too, but do we even think Raheem was the second choice?
Nope. I think Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh. I think there's a litany of coaches. Ben Johnson. Remember, Ben Johnson said probably Bobby Slovic. But remember, Ben Johnson actually pulled back because he wanted to focus for the Lions. Steve Wilkes. I'll just throw it in there. So yeah, I just gave you a full list of people.
No, I think it was. Listen, I do think that probably
when it comes to experience,
I think Ben Johnson was gonna go. Yeah, I think he probably would have been enticed by Ben Johnson. I think every team was. We got to keep in mind that actually the Lions were actually still in the playoffs when the Falcons made their decision.
Yeah, and not just that. Well, see, and remember, so you don't get Bill, you didn't get John. So in some eyes, people said, well, Raheem has experience. Yeah. Oh, he was. You don't have him over for interviews and try to set this up and for it to blow up the way it did and not say that was not your number one pick. I think that was your number one pick. I think Rich McKay and Terry Fontenot did the impossible. They worked together for the first time in their lives, so they couldn't get Belichick. But that's where, if I'm Arthur Blanks, here's the other thing you got to ask Arthur. Another year of not making the playoffs, and this time you spent and now you're looking at having to eat a dead cap hit.
We're not because even considering that 2025.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying you got to eat a dead cap hit because of your guy saying Kurt's an elite processor, but you had to bench him with 3 games left. Let's be honest. If you were going to do this, the best scenario was Kurt play the full year this year. If he would have fallen off, you could have then said, hey, it's like Alex Smith, Pat Mahomes. We're going to bench Kurt or best guy wins. Okay, Michael Penix wins, the quarterback. Now that second year, Kurt's the backup. Mike is the starter, and he's dominating or he's playing well. Now you could cut Kurt, so it didn't be so much. But now here we are in this universe where it didn't go that way. So, that's, and like I said, you started 6-3. You had videos talking about outrun the South.
Not just videos on YouTube, literally advertisements on TV. Advertising ticket sales.
Yep, and not just that.
Anyone who's in the local Atlanta area has seen it on Fox 5 or whatever, especially Fox 5. Remember that there is a clip.
Outrun the South.
5, and it's just a commercial break. He'll air anytime. Outrun the South.
Yep.
Where the fuck has that gotten you?
You're 8-8, looking at not making the playoffs. You're 1 win better than you were all the last 3 years. That's what $180 million bought you. 1 win. Tell me it's not coaching. Or, as the great philosopher CM Punk.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah, as the great philosopher CM Punk said, tell me when I'm telling lies. Or stop me when I'm telling lies. Yeah. I mean, bro, look, and that's why
he called out the Bears word for word. Nothing's going to change until the team is sold. That's what he said about Chicago.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes you need guys like that. Sometimes you need guys that actually are looking at it going, look, I'm a fan of this team. I want us to win. But I'm not going to swallow the bull crap when I'm hearing a guy saying, well, I didn't want to call timeout because, those were precious. Well, it's the fourth quarter. This is kind of a very sensitive time. You kind of want to call a timeout. More time, you could get the ball down the field. Nah, coach. Wait, what? I mean, it's maddening. And that's why I said, he has no killer head coach instinct. He has no. This is where he's fluff. He has no intensity. He has no drive to. When what was it? A guy named Marcus Washington said this in his live one time.
Oh, on the mark.
Yeah. He talks about how we're playing a game, or we're in a fight. We're always going to be in a fight. Well, no, you don't have to always be in a fight. No, we're going to come in. We're going to stomp you. There ain't no what we did to the Giants. We should have done the same to the Saints. We should have done the same to Seattle. But we didn't show up those games. And I remembered saying, this game is a trap. And the only reason it's a trap, our head coach thinks there's nothing going on. We're going to walk in and we got this. When all I've said was, you better show up with a playoff mentality because it's a rivalry game. You did it. You got beat. And then that's when the slide happened. And that's when you lost your division. Right there in New Orleans. And all you had was ha-ha, kiki, rah, saying, we'll stand by crew.
That was the turning point.
Yeah. They can at me all they want. At CAAWTN. Yeah.
Man, it's so rough because I just rewatched that again, that pass to Mooney, 33 seconds. Mm-hmm. You take a timeout right there. You still have one left. You could have done it to where then, okay, we throw a little slant route, get 10 more yards. At that point, we're inside their 45, get up to the ball, spike it, throw it out. At that point, it's like a 45-yard attempt.
Yeah, and not just that, but you're giving and then once you do that, Zach, all he has to tell Penix is, hey, hurry up offense, you know what to do. Get the guys line up. This is the formation. Do it. All right, coach. And that's all he needs. And then he just tells the guys, he's a quarterback. He's that guy. I don't think he needs to ask, Raheem, how do I snap the ball? How do I spike it? No, he doesn't need that. Now, Desmond Ridder probably did. I'm like, Jesus, dude.
Why the hell does he not trust Michael Penix when we've seen Michael Penix clearly has it?
Let me ask you this question. Michael Penix has it. I agree. Because if Michael Penix has it and he benched him for the whole year and was willing to bench him a full year, who does that look bad on? I have a wet. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, for him to, and this is where I said, this is a fireable offense because he alienated the team by not calling those timeouts. The men on defense gave you enough time to get that ball and kick it through the uprights. And I'm sorry, to me, that's the biggest discredit that Raheem has now. Is you look, I believe he sabotaged Michael Penix in the preseason. After that first game, he outshined Kurt. He couldn't afford for Penix to keep outshining. So, all right, Rook, you're sitting next to me. Well, he needs snaps so he could play. No, he's fine. We've seen what we've seen. Because you knew what you had with Kurt. And that's why the Kurt. Yeah.
Why the hell did you even go and sign?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I remember.
There was probably not anymore.
I told people we should have went for. Yeah, I told people we should have went with Joe Flacco. Go with a guy like Minshew. But these were ways, or Forsett, and I said you go with these guys because they're going to you could start them, but then they could be backups, and let Penix play. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you got Penix,
I thought you go Russ. You sign Russ to the $1 million deal, and however it works out, it works out. It's only for a year, two. But okay, then you go and you get your. When we signed Kirk to that deal, let's be completely real. We were thinking we go get a pass rusher. We go to Thank God. And listen, on draft night, oh boy, you should have heard me. I was throwing but
trust me, I did. Trust me, I
was
listen
the
to
best
everybody.
thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
And is this what Terry Fontenot ultimately looks at and says, well, Michael showed a lot of I'm doing it in Terry's voice. Michael showed a lot of promise, Mr. Blank. He led the team down the field. He showed poise. He showed a lot of promise.
This is why here's my thing. Here's my thinking. That's why I believe Terry wanted Michael. Because that was the craziest draft pick I ever thought. Because I remember making the joke, watch, we're going to get a quarterback this year, with our first pick. And they're like, yeah, right. And then sure enough, there's Penix. And I'm going, oh, my God, I was just joking. But the thing is, though, the only defensive guy was Javon Verse that actually would have really panned out. But now, look, you got Penix, awesome job. Now my question is, who's the guy that wanted Kirk Cousins the most? Because look, I don't care what anyone says. That's the biggest scapegoat question.
We'll never know the answer to that problem.
Yeah, well, we won't. Well, let's put it this way. If someone gets fired, we will know. But till now, we won't. But let's just put it this way. This guy is the dude. I really do. Michael Penix really proved, if anything, he didn't fail. He proved what he was today. Oh, yes. And if you're Atlanta Falcon, that's what you got to hope on, is him. Now, you got to hope that the GM can get his crap right. But, yeah, I'm going to tell you, the coach, and I get you want to keep, stability, but here's my thing. I want to win. And that's where I'm looking at Arthur Blank going, he wants to win. And I have a feeling there's going to be some real rough, uncomfortable talks coming up.
Here's the thing.
And, yeah.
I'm just about to drop another bomb. You've been dropping them all night.
Yeah. I hear you, brother.
So ultimately, as I've said, I'm going to repeat it. I do believe that Raheem will get another year. But you know what's going to suck the most this offseason? This is why I say I cannot even believe the fact that I am getting ready to actually want honestly, I don't even feel comfortable doing it. But at this more than the Saints, you got any idea, C-Dub?
The only look, you got to play out the rest of this year.
It's gonna be next year.
Yeah, it's going to be next year. But what I'm going to say is this: next week, you got to be. The guys are going to want to beat Carolina. But here's what I'm going to say: I just have a really bad feeling about that game. All right. I'm going to say it.
You're going to win against Carolina. You know why? Because you got your fucking quarterback.
Well, hold on. What I'm concerned about is you just played your best game today. All right? You played the Commanders amazingly. Are you going to fall back and play the Panthers at the Panthers level? Are you going to be like, man, or are you going to see the scoreboard and you're going to see Tampa up on New Orleans? And, you're going to see some guys decide to check out. And that's when you got to make that's when you got to go, damn. So,
the only thing about that is I think Carolina's been checked out of there.
Look, they have played so hard the past few weeks. Now, this week, they got blown out. But the last few weeks, man, Price has played well.
The reality,
they've been in really close games, so that's why I'm not checking out on them just yet.
we know this about Carolina. They get up for
Mm-hmm.
the Falcons.
Yeah.
They get up for the Falcons. Honestly, that would probably mean everything to them. But I'm also going to say this. I feel like when you look at how Carolina was playing well, it was Chuba Hubbard. And the fact is now Chuba Hubbard his season's done. So I think when you look at
bad for him. He has played well too, man. He had a great year.
You saw it today. Carolina without him, they couldn't hold him. So honestly, I don't really think the question is going to be us beating Carolina or not. I think we're going to handle the Panthers, honestly, when you look at the final score. Mm-hmm. That's not to say maybe they couldn't be in it for a half. We're only up by one score going into half. The biggest thing, and I'm going to be in that stadium next Sunday, is scoreboard watching. I guarantee they're going to have it up the entire time. What is going on in Tampa? And that is the worst situation you can be in.
And that is why I think Arthur Blanks needs to be very pissed off. Because we were 6-3. We beat Tampa Bay, 2 wins. We held the tiebreaker. And yet it's the last week of the season and we don't have control of our destiny.
Yeah.
Those are facts that you can't run away from.
Now, here's the one thing about I want to bring up another key point in a second, but there's another thing that just gets me about, and I think you could apply the same logic to Carolina, but I think it's also the Saints just lost badly to a god awful Raiders team. Now, you can look at it and say, there's no. You can look at this and say it's going to be the first 1 to 10 wins, and if Tampa Bay wins next week, they're going to get 10 wins, and they will obviously win the division. However, I think when you look at this from the standpoint of what you really have, what the situation is, there's going to be a lot of guys next week for New Orleans and for Carolina, but for New Orleans that I think they have had their worst season since Hurricane Katrina. Most Saints fans have not seen them this bad record-wise. So ultimately, there's a Spencer Rattler. He's going to be fighting to be on someone's NFL roster next year. There's a lot of guys on that team that they are going to be fighting for to be on someone's roster next year.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think is one thing that could give you hope, give me hope. I want to encourage you. But ultimately, look, go with your conscience. If you think the smart move is, honestly, Tampa Bay will win the division.
Yeah. But you got to walk in to that game against Carolina and focus on beating them. Because at this point, you can't do anything else. You had your options or you had your chances to do something. And this is where you're at now. And I hate to sound so coarse in this, but that's where you look at your coaching staff, look at your, but again, as a fan of the team, the season, it's not entirely lost. You now know Bijan's a full season runner. You know that you could put an offense around him. And if you can, and if you can get an offensive coordinator that, like a Ben Johnson, that can use multiple weapons, I think that'll be even better. Because I don't even think we've seen the full capacity of what Bijan can do. You're seeing what, Saquon Barkley and what Derrick Henry are doing, but you put Bijan in a system like that, he would just destroy everything. Drake London is that dude. He's that guy. We are needing a burner. We got to get a guy that could just tear the roof off the place. That can just, keep things open for everybody else.
And I think that could be Bijan. I think we have that burner.
Oh, I do too. But I'm saying eventually
it's all about progression because.
But I got to go here. You need a tight end. And you need a tight end that can play the position. I'm not.
And that's
Look
at what old ass 33-year-old Zach Ertz was doing today.
He killed us. And then not just that. Look at Jonnu Smith. We signed for a reasonable deal, and we cut him, and now he's dominating with the Dolphins. And he should get all pro mentions, to be honest, the way he's played. Yeah. And I mean, he's the reason why Calais Campbell can't go and ring chase. But I mean, that's where I'm just like, there's so many guys to look at. And at least we have some answers. Look, Ebiketie can hit the quarterback. Now we know, Rook is a guy that can really blossom into something, hopefully.
I'm really looking forward to see Rook's development.
Yeah, me too. And then I would love to see, look, I want to see another year of Malone. I think Malone is something that can be done, can be used well. AJ Terrell had his best game. Yeah.
I think a lot of the time that's not called. That was one of those.
I agree. And then, but I will say,
but that's just one of those moments.
And big ups, man. AJ Terrell had a hell of a game. Wherever Terry McLaurin was, he was there. That's the type of corner you got to be. That was a hell of a game.
I had someone in who the hell is this?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
No, man, I think we need to go get Roma Doomsday from Washington. Give Michael Penix somebody he's familiar with. That's a burner. And I think, hey man, that damn Raheem Morris cost us this game. Terrible play.
Yeah, he cost us.
Yeah. I'm like, what in the hell is you doing?
I mean, how many?
It's the late night, but we're here. We're here.
Yeah. I like, man, we could have beat them people, man.
How many head coaches hold 5 timeouts in the whole game? That man wanted to break the record, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like, what you gonna do with them? They can't go home with you. I'm like, call the timeout.
He thought them timeouts were going to be redeemable, probably for what?
If he could have got the kicker, I think if he could have got the kicker 5 yards closer, he would have hit that kick.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
That's it.
Dude, I'm not even fucking kidding. I was about literally as that kick was up in the air, I started screaming and yelling, and I just started too soon.
Yeah,
I'm like, but yeah, I think in the draft they need to go and get Roma Doomsday from Washington to help Penix out. They're a burner, and they know each other well.
Well, here's the thing, man.
I know we gotta get some pass rushes, but hey, y'all get them in the later round.
That's been the problem.
Hey, listen, I was getting ready to say something because a little bit ago we were talking about Penix, and that's the guy we should have drafted. Who drafted Penix?
The Lions.
But who specifically?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, well, I know I see his face, but I can't remember his name. He's a big dude, and I'm just going, and he's like he was like happy to draft him, but yeah.
Okay, I'll give y'all some help here. Brad Holmes, y'all know who that is?
Yeah, Brad Holmes. Yeah.
There was another finalist that between Terry Fontenot and this other finalist in 2021 that were the 2 finalists for the GM job of the Atlanta Falcons. Do y'all have any guess of who that other finalist was?
Man, you telling me it was Brad Holmes, but wasn't it?
It was Brad Holmes.
Motherfucker. Oh man.
That's say about Terry. He did get us out of cap hell. That's the only good thing he done. But here you put us right back in it with the Kirk Cousins thing.
Yeah, we're about to have to take that cap hit. We're going to have to take that on the chin.
Only way we'll be okay if Pitt decide to retire, we'll be all right. Because we ain't got to pay him all at one time.
Well, he ain't going to do that. He's going to do the Matt Ryan thing. He's probably going to go to TV for a year while he's still getting paid.
Yeah, but at least we ain't got to pay him all that money like up front. Like if he do that, I think it's spread out over 6 years or something. If he do that, so he need to do that. That's what Kirk Cousins need to do. Go to retirement. That's over with.
We're gonna have to take a hit on that for.
I think Raheem took too long to put Penix in. I watched Penix at Washington. I don't think they knew he was gonna be there at 8. That's why they signed Kirk after they signed Kirk Cousins. That's why I think they probably didn't know he was gonna be there.
Appreciate you. Hey, tell the people where to find you before you get out of here.
All right, yeah. I'm C28 on YouTube, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, me, Terry from For My ATL Sports One, Ladarius, Ron, we're going to do our morning show where we're going to review the Falcons versus the Commanders. And then on Tuesday, I'll probably be doing the Beard Gang show, kind of like a New Year's Eve show where we're going to talk football and where we go from here after this wonderful, disappointing loss that tastes like, it's like this. This is where I get to call out Raheem. So that's
I can't make any promises because I may be fast asleep then at 10 a.m. I don't got really shit going on tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna try to sit in the sorrow for a little bit. But if I'm up, man, I'll definitely try to tap into it. See what.
Look,
stuff, man, you got some good stuff going.
Yeah, man. I mean, anytime you guys want to be a part,
I see you on with Tidy. I see you on with all sorts of people.
Yeah, I'm with eye test, Tidy, but yeah, C28 is my channel, and that's where we talk wrestling. We'll talk football, and God knows we'll be talking about this one because I hate to say it, this was our best game, and yet, that's why I wasn't even mad. It's like this is our best effort. I'm just pissed that our coach didn't want to help us out to win that damn thing.
This is probably our best first half. I don't know if this was our best game. This is our best. Let me tell you something.
I ain't even messing up the whole season. He should have put Penix in.
Dominated one quarter. That's one quarter in the trash.
Yeah.
When Kirk threw them 4 interceptions, it was over with. I'd have took him out there. Now it's over with. 4 interceptions in one game. We could have beat. Man, every game we lost, we could have won. Every last one of them. We could have beat the Chargers.
I go to all the home games. So I see
all them. Yeah.
I see this different.
Only one we got beat was the Broncos. We weren't gonna win that game, but then all the rest of them.
Everyone needs to understand this.
Yeah.
The fact is that I think you were truly expecting him to be here about 2, maybe 3 years if the first 2 went right. But you benched him 15 games in, 14 games in, because you were now having to win in spite of him, and you finally got your quarterback in there, but you do this dumb shit tonight.
Yeah. And see, I agree with what y'all said that Penix was outshining them. That's why they didn't let him throw like that or let him play like that. They knew Penix was better than Kirk.
I believe at this point.
Yeah, I believe that too. The big
thing on Penix was he was the most QB ready guy in this entire draft class. So my thinking is simple. Penix probably could have started week 1, and maybe you could have just righted the ship.
We'll be in a whole better situation. We'll be like 14-2 if Penix would have started.
I don't know about that, but man.
But look. He would have threw 9 interceptions and 1 touchdown.
No, he
wouldn't. In no 5 games.
We've seen. Listen, man, we've seen this. But man, what are you thinking now? Because me and C Double kind of went down the same route. What are you feeling now with where this season is going? There's 1 game left, and obviously we got to do the unthinkable next week. We got to root for the Saints to win.
Yeah,
I feel about that.
I think the Falcons gonna win it. I think Tampa Bay gonna beat the hell out of the Saints. I'm gonna be honest.
So that means Tampa Bay wins the division.
Yeah, I already know. I just think the Tampa Bay gonna beat the dog out the Saints. The way they beat up on Carolina today, man. And Baker Mayfield don't look like he's slowing down.
Carolina don't look good. The thing that I truly feel like when we're
well, the Saints do got a defense. I give them that. They got a nice defense.
What is going to?
They do got a defense, but man, look, I'm hoping
to realize that if things,
I'm hoping the Saints win, but we're getting ready for next year. Like, Raheem got one more year.
That's the thing, man. I'm sick of doing.
I'm sick of it too.
Some point,
he got a 5-year contract, but he on a year notice. He on 1 year notice.
You can look at it as well. Look, next year with Penix, is finally it. We're gonna have that big pop out year next year. But we've been saying that for 2 years. The sad thing is, man, is this would have been the time to really take control of the division post Brady with Tampa, because now next year you don't know. Listen, I know everyone, and I think we're going to take care of Carolina on Sunday, but Carolina's going to have a lot of money in the offseason, and they're going to go out and get a wide receiver. And if they crush their draft, they could be in this thing.
Yeah.
The only team that's really going to suck for the foreseeable future is the Saints.
Yeah. But you know what? I do got faith in Penix. I just think I really think they need to get another offensive and defensive coordinator. You need to get 2 new coordinators in there.
So you think keep Raheem, but get the.
Yeah, they gonna keep him. They gave him a 5-year contract. I don't think they're gonna fire him after 1 year. They gonna at least give him time.
Raheem is not gonna get fired. Honestly, I wouldn't even be shocked if everyone just stays pat and they just, because let's say realistically, you finish 9-8.
Well, that's better than what you usually finish, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what and this this is what Arthur Blank. This is had the ups, we had the downs, but ultimately we have Michael, who's the rookie, and
southeast toward Reagan Street.
Yeah, but they said Arthur Blank was the one that told them to draft Michael Penix. It wasn't nobody else. They say Arthur Blank was the word is Arthur Blank was the one that wanted to draft Michael Penix. It wasn't. They said that was his call.
At this point, it's so obvious with who we currently got. These guys who, and that's
turn left onto Lincoln Street.
That's the thing.
Let me ask you a question.
He is when you went this off season.
Turn right onto Ridgewalk Parkway.
It was the ultimate play it safe hire. Do not change. The Falcons do not change for anyone higher.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. This guy was Dan Quinn's top lieutenant. This guy was our interim head coach. And honestly, for me, that would have been a turnoff from the start. But for Arthur Blank, apparently it was a turn on. And then I think you ask him, well, then at that point, my thinking is, why didn't you bring Dan Quinn back? If that's really what you were going for, why didn't you?
Continue on Ridgewalk Parkway for half a mile.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm gonna give it 1 more year. I ain't gonna,
They have your Belichick. But the thing with Belichick is you would have gotten a culture change.
Well, see, the only thing with that, we might not have got Michael Penix, though.
That's true.
Belichick, that's the only thing with Belichick. And I don't Kirk Cousins, but I'm glad we got
That's
Penix.
True.
I am so happy we got
the thing. I think we got our guy. We got our guy. We got our franchise quarterback. We cannot do the same thing we did throughout Matt Ryan, where it's just inconsistency.
Yeah, you're right about that.
We cannot do the same thing we did throughout Matt Ryan, where it was just with Matt Ryan, it was really about every 2 to 3 years. What was a really big year you looked at and you said, this is a team you could go to the Super Bowl with. And what do you know at the end of it? It ended in heartbreak.
Yeah.
And I was telling C-Dub
like that on Kyle Shanahan, but
yeah,
you don't do a lot of Super Bowls.
Yeah, man. And I was telling C-Dub this too. You got to get it now when all these guys are on rookie contracts.
Mm-hmm. Because you got to get rid of Pitt. Well, I don't think Kyle Pitts going to be here next year.
No, he's not going to be.
But in a minute, you got to get rid to play Drake London. Yeah, that's coming up.
Then the year after that is Bijan. Then the year after that is Penix.
Yeah, well.
And you know we're going to have to sneak in a Jesse Bates extension
you got to extend. Y'all need to go and extend him now.
Yes, now, now.
Get that on out the way, because I don't think Jesse Simmons going to be here. Matthew Judon, all them gone. Well, you know what? They got to save some money. You know what? I hate to say this, but Grady Jarrett might be gone. You got to save some money.
I can't do it to Grady, man. I can't do it to him.
I don't know. I don't want to do it to Grady neither, but hell, they put themselves in this situation.
We need
guys to
some of them veterans.
What's the other dude name?
This team.
Alma Mater. We know Alma Mater. They're going to probably be gone.
He's gone. Yeah, he's gone. Ellis, you keep.
Yeah, keep Caden Ellis. Yeah, I keep him. Some of them other folks. Yeah, get rid of some of them other ones.
I think next year's Ebiketti's contract year, you really got to see how he does next year. Can he really put it together for a full season, not just at the end of the season he get hot?
Yep.
But can you put it together?
Then I want to see what that other boy can do that we got from Washington, that linebacker.
Oh, Trice, yeah. Next year's really his rookie year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Since he got hurt in the first game.
He was supposed to be something, but no, man.
Y'all got to get AJ another cornerback.
Make me sick, and you need another cornerback. Oh, number 20 offered. Get his ass out of here.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah. It's time for him to go.
Because all night he was getting cooked.
Yeah. And then AJ did a damn good job on Terry McLaurin. Yeah. He did a damn good job.
Oh, that's all AJ.
Yeah, AJ had. He was by himself.
He didn't get involved at all tonight, which I knew that was going to happen. I knew AJ had that taken care of. The thing is, Washington didn't beat us deep. You know, the thing was the defense got tired. The offense could not get anything going. They abandoned.
That's also play calling too. Yeah, that was a mistake.
They abandoned the running game. They could not get anything going.
BJ got it going. Put Tyler Algier in there, let him run some.
Yeah, because we know Algier, he can really get going. And we saw Algier was already breaking off 10, 15-yard, 18-yard runs. So we know he only gets better as the game goes on.
Bad play calling.
It
didn't
make sense.
Yeah. I'm like, bro. I don't know.
The icing on the cake was no doubt was the clock
management. Yeah. That was it. It really was a clock, man. All they had to do was get him 5 more yards, but it would have hit that kick. The kick was right down the middle. Just didn't have enough leg.
And then, but that's the thing that is really heartbreaking. It's not just we've lost like that plenty before. The thing that's so heartbreaking about it is the fact that how big this game was.
Yeah.
The implications of it.
Thinking and bad quarterback play done cost us this season. We shouldn't even be in that position. We should be way ahead of the division. The division should have already been locked up.
Yes, should have been locked up.
You should have put Penix in 2 games before you did. You want to stick with Kirk Cousins? He gonna get it together, ain't man? Please.
No, Kirk is not.
I don't think he feeling healed up. To be honest with you, Kirk, he done lost some power and everything. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, old Kirk. Kirk got the best agent in football, though. He gonna get a payday. Swindling us out $100 million.
But see, it's so frustrating. This is just frustrating for me, man. It is. I've said because people know me. I've ridden with this. I'm going to continue to do it. First of all, there's no.
Yeah, I'm with
I
you.
like in many ways. You know me on a pretty deep level. You know that this team is a big part of me. So I'm never going to give up on them. Never going to be one of these fans. And honestly, there's a lot of fans that I feel like are saying, "Oh, I'll never give up. I'll always be a fan." But then eventually they show their true colors, and they do get to the point where, yeah, I'll give up on the team. That's not me, and it's tough to do that. It's tough to do that. It's tough. There's a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just a football team." No, this shit is going to run my day tomorrow. It is. But at the same time, I'm still going to be there on Sunday, and I'm going to be fucking, for one time only, wanting the Saints like hell to win against Tampa.
Yeah, I want them to win too. I can't stand the damn Saints, but I want them to win. Can't stand the Saints or they fans.
I can't stand them. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But
the Saints or they fans, both of them get on my damn nerves. Oh, like, man, one of them, but yeah. Yeah, man. They Falcons, they gonna be all right. I think they gonna be all right. We're in good hands. I say that with Penix. Yeah, we're in good hands.
Just, man, listen.
You have arrived.
No, with Penix, we're gonna be all right. But
yeah,
I feel like, and we're looking at this, we're examining the situation. Yes, we're gonna be all. We got our quarterback, but do we got the coach?
Hey, if you want to keep it up, they gonna have to get it together. I said, man, he gonna get Kirk Cousins, get his ass fired. I've been saying that for a long.
Why do you think he made the move?
Because Kirk Cousins was gonna get his ass fired.
Yeah.
Or Arthur Blank probably told him to change the quarterback.
So ultimately, we need to. I really feel like it's all about realizing what we're dealing with here. We got because look at Kansas City. Along with Patrick Mahomes, there's Andy Reid. Look at Baltimore. Along with Lamar Jackson, there's John Harbaugh. Hell, even look at Buffalo. McDermott, he's not costing them football games.
Hey, I want him to go get Eric the Enemy for an offensive coordinator. I said, I don't know why man, listen, man. How you think Patrick Mahomes had that explosive offense when Tyreek Hill and them was here?
And I can't say I want the Enemy as offensive coordinator. It's just,
you don't like the Enemy?
Man, I don't. There's a reason that dude is not picked up by anybody. I think there's a reason.
He probably got. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
This dude was getting head coaching interviews. He was the hottest name on the market for years. There's just something about this dude as to why he could never become a head coach.
Yeah.
And I
don't know what it is. I said the same thing. I said, what the hell? He can't get a damn job.
Yeah. It's but no, I don't want him as offensive coordinator. I feel like what we need, honestly, what would I want? I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what I want at this point. I feel like I cannot be in a position to where I defend Raheem Morris, but I feel like also the position I have to take, and it's one thing I will say is really look at this offseason and look at the crop of coaches. Okay, you got Ben Johnson again. That's going to be the hot name out there. There's Vrabel. There's Liam Cohen, the guy in Tampa. Who else really is there?
Okay, well,
not really much of anybody. So
you give back one more year. He ain't had number 2 games with Penix.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, that's what I'm saying. I can understand the frustration with Raheem, and I'm not really rubbed the right way by him, but listen, I feel like now for the Falcons, if nothing else, you have to sleep in the bed that you made this offseason. And you got to sleep in it for at least 2 years.
They definitely gonna have to get their defense together, and they got to go get some more playmakers. If you get rid of Kyle Pitts, hey, you got Charlie Warner.
Well, here's the thing: the production we're getting out of Kyle Pitts, you can get out of a tight end you draft in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what
I think we need to trade Kyle Pitts for some more picks.
That's what I think you do. I think you either trade him or you're gonna have to trade somebody you don't want to. And I feel like Kyle Pitts is probably the most. They probably do want to keep Pitts another year just to see how it does a 6th quarterback for it work.
No. They had to pick up that 5th-year option. That's $12 million. Somebody, I don't know. Somebody gonna get cut.
I don't know, but I think they could dump that pretty easily.
No,
of course somebody.
We gonna see. I know they need to get their defense together.
But man, I think they were tired. I think you got to look at that. Now, listen, I think we need.
Oh, yeah, the defense was tired.
Penix would have went and won it for us. I do. We could have used Jesse.
Yeah, the defense was tired.
We got to realize that it would have never even gotten to overtime. Or head down.
But see, when they hot right here, they knew there was gonna be a process anyway. So that's why I know he's gonna come back. But I guess you gotta give one more year. All of them, I guess. Jimmy Lake, they gotta get their personnel together though.
Because he's side of 50 yards, and I think he makes it.
Yeah, for sure. If they the guy might 5 more yards, he'd have made that. That's why I say it was bad clock management, but terrible. What are you doing? Call the timeout. You know, but man, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, man. Listen, I was just. Hey, listen. It's good that we get our frustration out together. I may go live tomorrow. I have until later in the week.
What you think they're gonna do with Koo? They're gonna bring Koo on back
tonight.
They're gonna bring Koo.
It was Patterson.
So I say you think they're gonna bring Koo back next year?
Yeah,
it's also a lot of games this year too.
Well, I understand that, but I think you have to you should apply some pressure on them. But I say all that to say I do believe that ultimately, who will be the kicker next year?
Yeah. But in the draft, they need to go to get Roma Doomsday on the help Michael Penix out. Give us a burner receiver who gonna catch everything. That's what they're gonna have to do in the draft, man.
Yeah, man. I'm about to call this thing a number. I may come into week 8. I did forget to about Drake London, Bijan. I'll give them all game balls because they all balled out tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You give them all game
if
balls.
You get Roma Doomsday and pair him up with Mooney.
Well, Roma Doomsday's already with the Bears.
Oh damn! He's damn sure. I'm tripping.
Yeah, you've been saying that name for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. You know what? I am tripping. Roma do they here with the damn Bears. He already done came out. What the hell I'm thinking? He already done came out.
Yeah.
We had to go get him a burner. Gonna get him a well, old boy did get hurt. You think they're gonna keep him Rondale Moore? I forgot about him.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be interesting to see. And that's the thing, man. Listen, if Carolina, well, I'll put it this way: if we don't win the division next Sunday, this is going to be a very hard all season to look forward to.
I think we're gonna beat Carolina. I'm hoping
There's
Tampa
no
Bay.
debate about that. The biggest thing is going to be the Tampa Bay New Orleans game.
Yeah,
and
hopefully
I don't think you can put confidence in the Saints to.
Yeah, I really ain't got no faith in them, but I'm hoping they beat them.
Yeah, I'm hoping. That's all you can do is hope.
Got no faith in the Saints whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, guys, it's been almost 2 hours.
Yeah, we can rant about this forever, but yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah, man. No, hey, you come around the only one running it, but definitely down. But like during the season, man, this is what we do. We recap every game, talk about every game, and have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
But
let's
man,
just
it's a frustrating.
We gotta pray the Saints do what they beat. Hey, help us out.
That's what we got to do, man. That's and it stings, but at that point, that's what we
There's
got
gonna
to
be a
do.
lot of people over there playing for jobs.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, man. There's going to be some people in New Orleans and they'll have a spot on our NFL roster next year.
Yeah. So, well, I guess I'll catch you next time, man. When you come on?
Yeah, I may be on. Well, technically, it'd be later today. It was on Friday.
Okay.
So, and then like I recap the games. Typically, I'll do the Carolina game sometime. Bucks game, but it's it's only me again, so I'm gonna start into a lot. One of the things I will say is you can definitely look at it from many different standpoints. You can look at it from this is the first big game we've played in years, but you also don't know when you're going to be back in this spot. I can already see it this off season. Penix is going to come out next year. Ultimately, you don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah, I had fell out. Now I'm just saying I had just stood up. So I was gonna say I'm gonna catch you tomorrow there. Put
Yeah,
my
no, I
notifications
come
and stuff
on.
on.
I typically do Game Beyond tomorrow to talk a little bit more. Yeah, I'll see how I feel and then do game recaps. Typically, most of the time, I do them the day after.
Okay. All right. Well, I
Like
stood. I'm
anything
gonna put my
around it
notifications
all.
on.
What'd you say?
I said I sub. I'm gonna put my notifications on.
Hey, that's what to do, man. That's what to do at this point.
Yeah,
Just
I come check you out tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I don't want to make any guarantees about tomorrow. If I were to go live tomorrow, it'd probably be around like 4 o'clock or something.
Okay.
Probably would do a little bit of an earlier live tomorrow. I'm not gonna make any guarantees. I'll just see, how my day's going. If something comes up, if not, I got free time. Then maybe tomorrow around like 4, we talk, through what we got for week 18, and stuff like that. But listen, it's obviously it's frustrating, it's heartbreaking, it's tough, but I'm tired of the next year shit. I am.
Yeah, we went to
So, well, anyways, man, listen, I'm about to head out of here. Appreciate you for coming on. Appreciate C Double for coming on. It was a pleasure. Listen, guys, everyone who tapped in, everyone who liked, everyone who shared it, viewed, appreciate you all. It's a heartbreaker, man, but it's not our first. It's probably not going to be our last. But the fact that this was a very big game for us was it was a tough one to swallow because of that. But anyways, man, look, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all take it easy, man. You got any final words?
No, man. We gonna be all right, man. Don't let it. Hey, we gonna be okay. I see the future look bright. That's all I can say. Future look bright for the family.
Well, all right, man. I'll see y'all in the next one.
All right.